वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Onlystar, we are on the path of truth presents.
Namaskar, Suprabhat, good morning. Today is the birth anniversary of Dr. C.V. Raman. The full name of Dr. C.V. Raman is Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman. In 1924, he was awarded as a Fellow of the Royal Society early in his career. He won the Nobel Prize in 1930 in physics. He was awarded Franklin Medal in 1941. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna in 1954, which is the highest civilian award in India. In 1957, he was awarded Lenin Peace Prize. He born in the 7th November 1988 in the city of Trichinopoly, the Madras Presidency in the British India. Today, this city is known as Tiruchirappalli in the state of Tamil Nadu in India. Raman's father's name was Chandrasekhar Ramanathan Iyer. He was a physics and mathematics teacher. And his mother's name was Parvati Anam. She was illiterate but was taught by her husband, means father of the C.V. Raman, to write and read and this. Dr. Raman belongs to Tamil Brahman and purely vegetarian. Their financial condition was very poor when Raman was born. But when Raman was 4 years old, his father got job as a lecturer in Visakhapatnam. So they shifted to the Visakhapatnam. In early age, means that is he was 7-8 years old. Raman was interested in physics as well as in mathematics and the science. He used to carry the book from the father's library and study properly and returning this. In 1903, when he was just 14 years old, he has gone to the Madras, known as Chennai nowadays, for the further study. But when he was staying there in a hostel and beginning the bachelor degree in a presidency college. When he returned after the 1 year, his health was very weak, and so their mothers were upset while looking at their health condition. So they set up the one house in the city, Madras, that is in Chennai, and their grandfather and mothers were looking after them. In 1904, he's completed the degree, bachelor degree, and winning the medals in physics and language. So the British lecturers in that college we encourage him to go to the United Kingdom for the further study, that is master degree. But looking at the health condition, their parents refused to send him to the United Kingdom and he stayed in India only. In November 1906, when he was just 18 years old, he has earned one paper, and the paper's title was Unsymmetrical Diffraction Band due to the rectangular aperture, and it was based on the behavior of light. It was submitted to his professor, but professor ignored it and not given so much response, so they sent the paper directly to the philosophical magazine, and the paper was accepted. Then he sent the second paper to the philosopher magazine, and this paper was read by the great physics scientist known as Lord Rayleigh. Lord Rayleigh is a very great physics scientist, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1904 on the Rayleigh scattering, on the Rayleigh scattering phenomenon. After that, his financial condition was very poor. Their father has many debt and that. So he joined Indian Finance Department in Calcutta as a civil servant. There was a good salary and that, but he was doing the full-time work as a civil servant in the Indian Finance Department, but part-time he was doing the research work. And for the research work, he joined Indian Association of the Cultivation Science, that is known as IACS. Afterward, by looking at his part-time research work and his lecture was impressive and established. His reputation was highly talented physician. In 1970, University of Calcutta offered him the Pollitt Chair of the Physics with a very good salary and network. So he joined the Pollitt Chair of the Physics in 1970. During that, one day he was traveling in the summer in 1921. He was traveling to the deck of the Mediterranean Sea, and he has looked at the sea is a blue color of that. And looking at that one, he was thinking why the color of the sea is the blue. Before that, the Rayleigh has given the law, which is called a scattering law, and that what is meaning of, in the short I will explain you what is the scattering, because Raman main effect is Raman effective. To understand the Raman effect, you should know what is meaning of the Rayleigh's criteria, Rayleigh's scattering law, and Compton effect. You know that the Earth is surrounded by atmosphere, and you can look at the sky. The sky is looking blue. Most of the time the sky looking blue. But early in the morning and the evening, at the sunrise and sunset, the color of the sky is slightly reddish there. But noon, the color of the sky is white. Why it is that one? So Rayleigh is given the law that when the sun rays is incident on the small particle, which is surrounded by Earth atmosphere, also Earth atmosphere contains the small particle, dust particle, small air molecules, water vapor. These are the small particles are there. These absorb the sun rays and scatter in all directions. In all directions they scatter. And during this scattering is inversely proportional to the fourth power of the wavelength. I mean, those light are having more wavelength with least scatter, and those light are having less wavelength with more scatter. Normally, the blue color scatter more because wavelength of the blue color is small, and therefore the normal color of the sky is the blue. In the evening or morning, sun rays come from the long distance, and so the blue color lost in the atmosphere and the red color is coming to the Earth's surface. In the noon, directly all colors are coming to the on the Earth's surface, and therefore the sky looks white. So this is a phenomenon of the why the different color, even the color of sun. The color of sun is looking yellow is the one, but at the time of sunset and the sunrise, the color is of the moon, color of the sun is a golden color. This is because of the scattering of light and that one. Rayleigh's criteria is based on the one important assumption that this scattering is elastic. Elastic in the mean. This scattering is in this scattering, energy is not lost and no energy is lost. Actually, the light is considered as number of photon. It is a photon is a particle of, it is a packet of the light waves, and this photon carries fixed wavelength, fixed energy, fixed frequency, and that one. But Raman thought while traveling to this Mediterranean sea, and that he looked at the color of the sea is a blue. So he thought, what is this? Why this color of the sea is blue? Because their scattering is not possible. Water is there, is not small particles and that one. And so he was thinking while going, and when he returned from the Oxford University, where he had got that one, at that time also he was thinking in that one. And he studied when he returned to the India, he studied that one, and he concluded that, his conclusion was that this scattering is not elastic. Before that, I will explain the Compton effect. Compton has performed an experiment, and that experiment when the X-rays are interacting with the electron, then X-ray loses its energy. Its wavelength decreases. And since wavelength decreases, this is known as Compton effect. So it means the scattering, in the case of the scattering, it is not elastic, it is also some scatter is inelastic. And Raman has taken that point only, and he showed that it is the scattering is not completely elastic, most of the scattering is elastic, not automatic. But some part, one part, we can say the 1 part in 10 million is scattering is non-elastic. Non-elastic is the mean, it is called as inelastic. Inelastic means energy is not conserved. Elastic means energy is conserved. In case of inelastic, since energy is not conserved, the wavelength after the scattering will decrease or will change. So color of light will change. And this phenomenon is known as Raman effect. This mainly the Raman effect. And that is the use of the Raman effect is that it is a Raman, because of the Raman effect. We can, as a result of Raman effect, the spectroscopy is not commonly used to chemical laboratory in all over the world to identify the substance. It is also used to medicine investigate the living cell and tissue, even detecting the cancer without causing the harm. That is the importance of the Raman effect and that one. The Raman on this Raman effect, he got a Nobel Prize in 1930. I mentioned earlier also that. In 1930, he got the Nobel Prize. He is the first Indian scientist got the Nobel Prize in science. First Indian scientist. Actually, Rabindranath Tagore ji is the first Indian who got the Nobel Prize. But he was poet, he was writer, and he was thinker. But Dr. C. Raman is the first Indian scientist, particularly in the physics, got a Nobel Prize in one. His nephew afterward also got a Nobel Prize. He also belongs to physics only and got a Nobel Prize and afterward. But that also he shown the photon in 1932. He shows that the photon means, I just mentioned to you, photon means it is a bundle of light, and that is a package of light, and that has the property called as spin. Also, he had shown in 1932 that the electromagnetic radiation pass the angular momentum up to the atom and that absorbs it. So this is the two important parts. Also, the Raman had shown in this one. Afterward, in 1929, for the discovery of the Raman, he had become Sri Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman. He becoming Sir Chandrasekhar. He got the Sir. He got the one Sir. So he's calling as a Sir Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman. He discovered this Raman effect in he published. He got a Nobel Prize in 1930. But he published this paper on 28th February 20th February 1928. He submitted the first paper in 28th February 1928, and therefore Indian government celebrate that the National Science Day on every year on 28th February. Raman has supreme confidence on his ability. When he submitted the paper, he was so confident that he will get Nobel Prize. So he was so sure to win the Nobel Prize in 1930. So he booked the ticket to the Sweden 4 months before the winner was announced. See the confidence of that one. 4 months before only booked the ticket to go to the Sweden. You know that Nobel Prize is distributed in Sweden only. So he booked the tickets to go to Sweden 4 months before the prize is announced. He was so confident that this year I will get a Nobel Prize and that. In 1933, he became first Indian director of Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. In 1947, he becomes independent Indian first national professor, and in 1948 he founded the Raman Research Institute in Bangalore, where he worked until the end of his life. He has built up his own institute and known as the Raman Research Institute in Bangalore. This institute, he refused to take the grant from the government of India, because once you take the grant, there is a you can say impact of the government on that institute, also politician on that institute. He don't want to take such a implementation, such an impact on that one or influence of that one, and so he refused to take the grant and this one. And then in 1970, he received the major heart attack while working in the laboratory, and he took the last breath the Raman Research Institute at Bangalore on 21st November 1970. such as these great scientists, the birth anniversary is today. So from this birth anniversary, I'm giving you the message to the all of you that it is not, you should not be, those are the peoples whose the word or the son or daughters are in the 10th, 11th, 12th. It is that your career means not only to become a engineer or medical, to give the NEET exam, give the JE exam, give the MSCAT exam. It is not like that one. There is a something is beyond that, in which career you may not get more money, but you can get the name. Your name will remain for a long time if you join any research institute. Nowadays, there are many research institute of that. That is TIFR is there, BRC is there. Like this one, so many research institute are there, and research, so many research works are going on. And so your children or your son or your daughter, if you join to this research work, in their career will build up and they will get name, and also you will get someone that you are doing something for the nation, something for our country, and that something for your country and that one. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry.
If you like my video, please click on the like and share. Click on the bell icon and as well as subscribe.